All right. So then you would have 4 options for 1, 4 options for 2, 4 options for 3, 4 options for 4, 5, and 6. And it's 4 to the 6, which is 4,096. So adding one more compared to what example we just did goes from 1,024 to 4,096 because it's 4 times the amount, right? Because you're multiplying by an extra 4. All right. Pencils down, pens down, everything down, paying attention. Okay. How can you tell if something is odd or even? You tell me if these numbers are odd or even. Ready? 24. Even. 1,024. Even. 3,762. Even. 1,596,371. Okay. 7,964,323,401. What are you only listening for? The last digit, right? So if the last digit is even, the number is even. If the last digit is odd, the number is odd. True statement? Okay. Evens result in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8 number at the back. Yes? Odds result in a 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Yeah? So let's look at this question. It says, how many odd 4-digit numbers are there? Now, it doesn't say on here that I can't repeat. Everyone paying attention so we don't lose you? It doesn't say on here that I can't repeat. So if it doesn't say that, then that means I can repeat numbers. I could have like a 1, 1, 1, 1, right? Okay. So I know I need a 4-digit number. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and it needs to be odd. Now, this is the thing you have to listen to. Has this lost me in high school a bit? Terms and commas was not my specialty, so it makes it my goal that you guys don't feel lost like I was. I didn't know the difference, and I didn't know when to multiply or add, and I didn't know how to work any of this. This was brutal. Okay? You won't feel that same way. So, I promise. So in each blank, you can only have one item, right? That's why we draw the line. The line means one item here, one item here, one item here. It's like when we chose one pair of pants, one sock, one shirt, right? Something like that. Here we can only have a 1-digit number in each of these. The 1-digit numbers are 0 to 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which means there's 10 of them. We agree? I can only put 1-digit numbers in that blank. Okay? Now remember, below the blanks, I list the options. Above the blank is not the option I picked, it's the number of options. Correct? So it's not like if I pick the number 3, I don't put a 3 above the blank. That would be one option. I picked a 3. That was it. So above the blanks is the number of options. Below the blanks are what options I have. Okay? In order to have an odd number, it needs to end in an odd number. We agree with that statement. Correct? So I have to deal with restrictions first. So I'm going to go to this back blank, and I want odd 4-digit numbers. So if I want odd numbers, this has to be a 1, a 3, a 5, a 7, or a 9. True statement? Yeah? Okay. How many options is that? 5. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. 5. We agree? So we put a 5 on top. Now, does that mean that I chose the number 5? No. Remember, the number above the blanks is how many options I have. It's not the number you chose. It's how many options you have. I did not understand that in high school. Okay? So below I have the options 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. I list them below, and that is 5 options. So that's what the 5 represents. I'm going to pick one of those numbers. That's what that blank represents. Yeah? Now, the other thing is it says it has to be a 4-digit number. They're not going to say this, but you have to think about it. If it's a 4-digit code, it's different. But if it's a 4-digit number, pretend I'm going to pay you in a 4-digit number. Get ready. The number is 0367. Did I pay you in a 4-digit number? 0367? I paid you in a 3-digit number with a 0 in front. Correct? So when it says 4-digit number, the other restriction is it can't start with a 0 because that's a 3-digit number. Like 0, 6, 5, 7. Sorry guys, that's a 3-digit number, right? With a 0 in front. If I talk about codes, though, is that a 4-digit code? Yep, that'd be fine. 4-digit code, it could be 0000. Everyone's getting into your home, but it could be that, correct? So codes can start with a 0, but a 3-digit number can't. So let's go here and we say it can't be 0. So I put a slash through it. And every blank can have single-digit numbers, correct? So like the number 14 can't go in that blank because that's a double-digit number, okay? So my options are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Correct? How many options is that? 9. So I put a 9 up here. Does that mean I put the 9 there? No, the number on top represents absolutely nothing to do with what number I chose. It's how many options I have to choose. Does that make sense? So I do my restrictions first, which are the outside 2. The inside 2, does it matter what they are? No. So they can be the single-digit numbers from 0 to 9, both of them, because it doesn't matter what they are. So I'm going to use my fingers to count it out. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many options is that? 10. That is 10 options. I told you you can only put single numbers in there, correct? The options are listed below. I did only put single digit numbers. I put 0 to 9 down here, correct? The 10 up here represents how many options. Crystal in high school thought the 10 represented a 10. And I was like, how can I put a 10 up there? You told me I'm not allowed to put anything but single digit numbers in. I only did put single digit numbers. I put the single digit numbers 0 to 9. The 10 is not a number I chose. That's how many options there are. I only chose single digit numbers. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is 10 options. The number above the blanks is how many options. Then here I have 0 to 9. How many options is that? 10. And then I do this times this because I need all of the numbers. I need this one and. So I get 4,500. Side caveat. I want you to tell me how many 5-digit odd numbers there are. You try that out. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so our back number still has to be odd. That didn't change. We just got an extra blank. We agree? So this is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So still 5 options. This one still can't be a 0, so it's 1 to 9, which is 9 options. Then there's no restrictions on here, so it's 0, oops, not 0 to 10, 0 to 9, 0 to 9, 0 to 9. So it's 10, 10, 10, so it just makes me have an extra number, or an extra 0. So instead of 4,500, it's 45,000. So there's substantially more 5-digit odd numbers than there are 4-digit, because you end up multiplying by 10. So it's times 10 more. Okay? Let's look at this one. How many odd 4-digit numbers are there with no repetition? So if it doesn't say that you can't repeat, you assume you can. Okay? No repetition means I always say box and hold. It's what I call the box and hold. Don't write box and hold on your diploma. They'll have no idea what you're talking about because I made it up. Box and hold. So whenever I'm not allowed to repeat, I box and hold things so that it stops me from repeating that number. So, still same. Still have to have my 4 blanks. Still have to end in an odd number. We agree? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So I still have 5 options. The catch here is I have to box and hold one of those numbers so I can't use them again. Now some people are like, well, which one do you pick? Doesn't matter. Whichever one you box, you just can't use again. I'm lazy, so I always pick outside numbers so that I can go like 2 to 9 or like 1 to 8. So I don't have to write all the numbers down for examples in the first one. But you can pick any of them. So if I pick 9, I box and hold 9, right? Then 0 is out and 9 is out, correct? 0's out because you can't start with a 0. True? 9 is out because I boxed it. What if I would have boxed the 5? Then I would go 5 is out. Box the 3, I go 3 is out. Whatever one you pick. Okay? The reason why I pick a 9 is I can go, okay, well now it's 1 to 8, and I don't have to list them all because I'm kind of lazy. So that's the reason why I do that. No other reason. I could have picked a 3, and then I would say 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? I would list all the rest. So 1 to 8 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 options. Yes? So I put an 8 here. And I have to box and hold another one because I can't use it again because I'm not allowed to repeat. So I'm going to hold the 8. Now this is where everyone errors. Right here. And I would start because I'm going to say you're everyone. Not just one person, everyone errors here. Because they box and hold the 8 and then they write 1 to 7 here and put a 7. There is a catch. What have I still not used? What number have I not used yet? 0. I couldn't use 0 in the back, it would have made it even, correct? I couldn't use 0 in the front, it would have made it a 3-digit number. So I have to remember that 0 is still an option because I didn't box and hold it. Do you see that? I couldn't use it here, it would make it even. I couldn't use it here, it would make it 3-digit. So I have to remember to bring this 0 back. Because you couldn't use 0 in the last one or the first one. 0 would have made it even in the last one. 0 would have made it a 3-digit in the first one. So this is the first time I would actually be allowed to use 0. So I have to remember to use it. Yes, because your options are 0 to 9. Yeah. Sometimes you can't use all 0 to 9 because you need it to be odd or you need it to be a 4-digit number. But if you can use it, use it. So this is the first time I've been allowed to use 0. Okay? So this is 8. 8. Do you see that? Everyone puts a 7 there all the time because they forget that they can use the 0 because they couldn't use it in the back and they couldn't use it in the front. Now say I hold the 0, what do I have left? 1, 2, 7, which is 7. 1 to 7 is 7. People will tell me it's 6 all the time. Count it with your hands. So what people think is embarrassing is using their hands. What's embarrassing is putting 1 to 7 is the number 6. That's embarrassing. Using your hands, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is 7 options. That's not embarrassing. That gets a correct answer. 1 to 7 is 6 options is wrong. So please count them out. 7 off. So what's 8 times 8 times 7 times 5? 296 or something? 240? We're going to skip example 4 for now because it just confuses half of you. So we're going to go to example 5. So let's read it thoroughly. Example 5 says, now remember, each blank can only hold one number, correct? One of the 1-digit numbers from 0 to 9, every blank. That's it. Okay? So here it says, telephone numbers allocated to subscribers in a rural area consist of one of the following. Do not get mad at the question and be like, that doesn't follow our rules for phone numbers. They can make up what they want, right? It could be a phone number on Mars for all that matters. You just have to follow what they say. So it says the digits 3, 4, 5. So the digits 3, 4, 5. So what option do I have for this first one? 3, then 4, then 5. So the digits 3, 4, 5, followed by any 3 further digits. So if they can be anything, what can they be? 0 to 9. When there's no restrictions on a number, it's 0 to 9 because it can be single-digit numbers, right? I can only put a single digit in that blank, correct? Does it say I can't repeat or anything on those? No. So they can be 0 to 9. I need this number and this one 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 to make a number. Then it uses the word or. What do I do when I use the word or? What do I think? Add. Remember, and add don't go together. They're too similar. And, if I use the word and, I multiply. If I use the word or, I add. And I multiply, it's in your notes somewhere. And I multiply, or I add. Well, it might not be if you didn't write it down when I told you. So, or I'm going to add. So between cases, I always add cases. Okay. Then it says, or the digit 2, followed by the digits 1 to 5, followed by any 3 further digits. So what can these ones be? 0 to 9. Multiply, 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 multiply. So I need each of these numbers. All right. So I listed all the options I have, correct? Now I just need to go to every blank and put how many options that is above it. That's it. And multiply them. So, for the first blank, I'm allowed the digit 3. How many is that? How many is there? How many numbers are there? Ooh. 1. The number 3. Right? You're just listing how many there are above that blank. The number 4, how many options? 1. The number 5, 1. 0 to 9 is how many options? 10. 0 to 9, 10. 0 to 9, 10. Then the digit 2, which is 1. 1 to 5, which is 5. 0 to 9 is 10. 10. 10. So this one, first one is 1,000, plus this one is 5,000. So it equals 6,000. Okay. Everyone put their pens down once you have that answer down. Because I need your brain power. Okay. So guys, I told you, unless it says you can't repeat, we assume we can. True? Words, order matters. Words are permutations because the word pool and loop are different. Correct? So the order in which you place the letters makes different words. Yeah? Yeah. So I would hustle because you will be lost. Okay. So pool and loop order matters. Now, when we use words like English, which I'm writing on a piece of paper right now, this one says, consider the number of distinguishable four-letter arrangements. They're going to say distinguishable four-letter arrangements, not words, because we're not bringing out a Scrabble tile book and deciding if it's a word. I don't care if it's a word. It's taking those 4 letters and moving them around and seeing a different looking word. Loosely, I'll use word. Okay? So we have the word English. So, if we have the word English, people are like, well, it doesn't say I can't repeat, so I can. No, you have the word English. That is all you have. So it's like, always treat words as if you have Scrabble tiles. Okay? I handed you Scrabble tiles in the word English. We agree? So I have an E, an N, a G, and everyone's paying attention, because if you get this, the words are really easy. If you don't, you will be a lost soul for the rest of eternity. We don't want that. These can be really easy questions for you. So I have the word English, that's it. So how many E's do I have? 1 N's, 1 G's, 1 L's, 1 I's, 1 S, 1 H, 1, correct? If I gave you the word pool, for example, you'd have 2 O's. So I wouldn't have an unlimited amount of O's, but I would get 2. Okay? So for now, we're only dealing with words with no repetition. So I literally have 1 of each letter. True? So if I use the E, it's used. Correct? So whenever it's a word, I'm going to box and hold every single time. I'm going to box and hold because I don't have an unlimited amount of E's. Right? So basically, no repetition when you have a word English. So English, I'm going to give myself a little thought bubble out here. Every time I have a word, I'm going to box and hold. Because I need to leave a letter behind. If every single time I pretend I have all my letters back, am I ever leaving a letter? No. So you're never making a word. So let's look at the first one. It says any letter can be in any position. And the key thing here is we're doing 4-letter arrangements. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 blanks. And every blank can contain how many letters? 1 letter in each. I can leave 1 letter behind in each. So can I have more options than 1? Yes, above, but I can only leave 1 letter there. Correct? So I'm writing it on the board here, but I'm actually going to show it over here on the whiteboard. Because I have my letters over here. So, I have 4 blanks. It just says 4-letter words. There's no restrictions. It doesn't say I start with a vowel. It doesn't say it end in a consonant. Consonants are the opposite of vowels. Also, for mathematics, Y is never a vowel. It's A, E, I, O, U. There's 5 of them. There's 26 letters in the alphabet. So there's 5 vowels, 21 consonants. Okay? Because it makes a vowel, consonants are opposites. Y is not a vowel in mathematics because you use vowels in certain specific words as a Y. Okay, so I have 4 blanks. I can start anywhere because there's no restrictions on this thing, correct? So the first one, how many options do I have? How many letter options do I have? How many letters are in English? 7. I have 7 letters for this first one. Any of the letters in English, we agree? Okay, if I take all 7 and I move them, what letter did I leave behind? Trick question. None. I left no letters behind. So did I actually start a word yet? No. So what do I have to do? I have to leave a letter. I'm going to pretend I leave the E. So I leave the E there. I boxed and held it. Correct? Because I have to leave one or I'm not making a word ever. So how many do I have for this one? 6 letters. Then I have to leave one. I can leave, let's leave the H because it's on the top. And pretend I leave the H there. Could I have left any of these other letters? Does it matter? No, it just matters that you box and hold one because you can't repeat the letters. So then how many would go here? 5. Then I have to leave one. To prove a point, I'm going to leave the middle one because it doesn't matter what I leave. Say I leave the L. How many would I have left now? Options for this one. 4. And then I multiply them. If I don't have sticky notes, I would show it by showing the actual letters. So I would have E, N, G, L, I, S, H as my options. True? Which is how many letters? 7. And then I have to box and hold the letters. So say I hold the H. Then I would have E, N, G, L, I, S. If you were like, I want to hold the E, cool. You wouldn't have an E and you'd have an H. Still 6 letters. Correct? It doesn't matter which one you hold, you still have 6 letters. You just will write different letters than I have written down. So it's 6. Then say I hold the E. Then I would have N, G, L, I, S, which is 5. Then say I box and hold the N. Then I would have G, L, I, S, which is 4. $840, I believe. 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 is 840. 42 times 20. E, we get all our letters back again. All the letters in English. We agree? But this time it says the first letter must be an E, so I have to start with that. The first letter must be an E. How many E options do I have? One in English, correct? If it was like peel, I have two. It was P-E-E-L, not the peel. Okay? But English has one. So I have one option, and then I always have to box and hold. Are there any restrictions on the rest of the letters? We just want all the words that start with an E. So now I have N-G-L-I-S-H. How many options? 6. There's 6 letters. I have to hold one. I'm going to hold the H. So now I have N-G-L-I-S, which is 5. Say I hold the I. Then I have N-G-L-S, which is 4. Which is now, instead of 840 words, it should be less, correct? Because I restricted it more. 120. This one says the first and last letters must be vowels. Well, let's separate them. So I have vowels and consonants. So I have E is a vowel, N is a consonant, G, L, I, S, H. Do we agree? If you don't remember, A, E, I, O, U are vowels. And some people are like, well, then I have 5 vowels. No, you don't. You have the word English. You don't get to find the rest of the vowels because you want them. Right? You have English. That is it. Yes? So now it says the first and last letters must be vowels. That's my only restriction. So I have to deal with the first and last first because I have to deal with restrictions first. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So my first blank, I can start with the first or the last. It doesn't matter because they're restricted. I'm going to start with first because I like starting on the left. It's just a thing. So it has to be a vowel. What vowel options do I have? E and I, which is 2. And then people will say, well, I can go to the back and I have E and I again. Do you really have E and I? What do we have to do every single time it's a word? Box and hold something, correct? So say I box and hold the I, then I only have E back here. If you started with the back one, you'd have a 2 at the back and a 1 at the front. Still is 2, right? Doesn't make a difference if I had started with the back number first. Now I need to box the E. That was to box and hold. So I used up the E and the I. So I have N-G-L-S-H, which is how many letters? 5. Hold the H, and then I have N-G-L-S, which is 4. More restrictions, smaller amount of words I could make, right? Once you start restricting more, you get less letters, less words. It's just inevitable. So it should be 40, 20 times. The last one is the trickiest one. I just show it just in case you were ever given something like this. But it said the word must contain a G. Does it say where the G needs to be? So we're actually going to get 4 cases. We're going to get the first case where G could be the first letter, or second case where G could be the second letter, or third case where G could be a third letter, or fourth case where G could be a fourth letter. And when we say or, when we have more cases, we add them. Or and add. Remember, or and add go together. So my first case, I'm going to start with the G, and then I multiply. Or, which means I do what? Add that case. Or I could have a 4-letter word with G as the second letter. It would still contain a G, correct? Would it be a different word if I start with a G or G as the second letter? Yeah, that's why we have cases. Like if I give you gore or I give you ogre, those are two different words. Both of them still contain a G. Yeah? Or I could have G be in the third blank, would still make a different word. Or I could have G be in the last blank, would still make a different word. Do we agree? First, second, third, fourth makes different words. So, let's go through. We have to deal with our restriction first. So G, we have one option. I box it. Now I have E, N, L, I, S, H. How many letters do I have left? 6. Say I box the H. Now I have E, N, L, I, S, which is how many? 5. Say I box the S. Then I have 4. Some people will say to me, do I have to list all the letters underneath? Once you do this enough, no, you won't have to list them. But until you know what you're doing, it's best to list them because then it actually shows you what the heck you're doing with the letters, right? Eventually, people don't need them, and that's fine. You don't have to show them. Okay? Now we're going to get the same thing here, aren't we? This is going to have one option. Say I box and hold it. How many letters are going to be left for this blank now? 6. These same letters. Yes? Then 5. Then 4. So then this G, same thing. One option. Then we have 6 left. 5. 4. And this one will be G. And I have 6, 5, 4. Fun fact, they all come out to 120, right? 1 times 6 times 5 times 4, or 6 times 1 times 5 times 4 is 120. So, we could technically go 120 plus 120 plus 120 plus 120, which is 480. Or you could say, okay, the case is going to be 120, and then there's 4 spots that G could be. It's 120 times 4. Which one's better? The one that makes sense to you is better. They're the exact same answer, right? So if drawing out each separate case makes more sense, do that. Yeah? Okay, then we're going to flip over. What does it say? Your turn. What do you think that means? Your turn. Try them out. And these are codes. These are not numbers. The first one says a luggage lock with a correct 3-digit code. Do you see the word code there? So then not starting with a 0 goes right out the window because it's a code. A code can start with 0. A code could be all zeros unless it restricts us to that. Each wheel rotates through 0 to 9. How many different 3-digit codes are possible? So, was there any restrictions on here? Just said 3-digit codes. So I can have what option for the first wheel? 0 to 9. And for the second wheel? 0 to 9. And the third wheel? 0 to 9. So it's 10, 10, 10. So that's 1,000. The next one says, suppose each digit can be used only once in a code. So now I have to box and hold, right? But I'm only allowed to use once, box and hold. How many different codes are possible when repetition is not allowed? Does it say I have to start with a certain code or anything like that? No. So here I have 0 to 9, which is 10 options. Then I have to box and hold something. I'm going to box 9. So now I have 0 to 8, which is 9 options, box the 8. Then I would have 0 to 7, which is 8 options. So that's 720. B says an Alberta license plate has 3 letters followed by 3 digits. For example, ABC 1, 2, 3. The letters I and O are not used avoid confusion with 1 and 0. So I and O are not used. I need to have 3 letters followed by 3 digits. So I'm going to have 6 blanks, correct? Because each blank can only hold one object. Now, how many different license plates are possible? Does it say anything about not repeating? No. If it's a word, then I assume I can't repeat. But unless it's a word, if it doesn't say I can't repeat, I could have AAA111. Correct? Technically? Okay. So, the letters I have are A to Z, which is 26. Now do I have 25, 24? It's letter, 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 number, number, number. Oh, what's the catch? Ah, there's a catch. So what's it going to be? 24. Do you think they'll have the answer to 26 there? They're 100% going to have the answer to 26 there because you guys don't read. So, it can't be A to Z. It can be A to Z, but not I or O, right? So it's actually 24. When you guys make mistakes, I promise you it is lack of reading. It's not often lack of math skills. Okay? So now is it 23, 22? No, what is it? 24, 24, because it doesn't say anything about not being able to repeat. Correct? So it'd be 24, 24. Then what options do I have for digits? 0, 2, 9. Are there any restricted digits? No, they restricted letters, not the digits. I also find it funny they restrict letters when it has to be letter, 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 number, number, number. But should know that the first 3 are letters and not numbers, but that's okay. So then this is going to be 10 and then 9, 8. Or what? 10, 10, 10. It doesn't say I can't repeat. So what is that? Is it 576,000 or something? I don't know, my brain's starting to remember something like that. 24 cubed plus 3 zeros. Oh, 13, I was way out. 13,824,000. Okay, here it says, because of the growing number of vehicles, the province is changing the plates to 3 letters followed by 4 digits. They were in digits, right? You see some license plates with 4 digits. How many more license plates does that make? So you think, oh, that doesn't do much. Well, 24, 24, 24, that stays the same. 10, 10, 10, that stays the same. But I add another 10. And when you add another 10, you actually add another 0 to the number, correct? So instead of 13 million, you're going to have 138, blah, blah, blah million. So it makes it substantially more just by adding a digit because it makes you another placeholder. Yeah.
It says how many more license plates do you see?
So we're not done yet. Yep. So, do you think they're going to have this as an answer? Yes. And why is this an answer? Because you don't read. Every single answer is because of not reading, I swear to goodness, right? Because it's common error because you didn't read. So this says how many more? So what do we have to do? We have to actually take that number and subtract off the other number. And what do we get? Does anyone have an answer?
1, 2, 4, 4, 1, 6.
That? So it's 124,416,000, and they will have that answer there because it's the correct one, right? Another answer I would put is this one. Oops, the answer. The one if you did the old way. Okay. So what I'm going to get you guys to do is diploma practice. So 1 and 2, you're going to work on those. 3, 4, and then I want you to do up to number 3 homework. We're going to go through these at the very beginning of class tomorrow. So you need to be done up to number 3. That is your homework. Go.